And welcome back everybody to another episode of All the Mods 10. I'm your host, Undisturbed Potato, and today we have a few things that we are going to be doing. But first, kind of want to show off what I did build. Don't judge me, it's not the final stage yet, but there's this little stone hill that I'm adding. I did flatten this area out just because I do plan on making this come up a little higher and somehow merge or create a pathway leading to this, just because I thought it would be cool to make something with a create elevator, because inside we do have our boiler or our steam engine. However, I do not want that area to be our create spot, so instead I do plan on adding a create elevator here so that it can take us down here, and in this huge cavern area I do plan on adding our create machines, and I am planning on moving our altar from Forbidden and Arcanus from over there to over here, just because I feel this would create a better view, or it'll look better here. But yeah, so far this is what I have made. We have a tiny little house here. I was going to make it bigger, however I would have to make this bigger, and I kind of felt tired after getting this set up, so we are going to make do with that. I do need to add a little bit more stuff right here in the flat spot, but other than that, this is what we have added. Besides that, I added a little bit to our little mansion and have been testing things out for this episode. But yeah, added a little bit more greenery around. I do plan on making a tiny little shack here filled with security guards, aka I'm gonna throw a few villagers in there. They're gonna be checking IDs and whatever the case may be when people do enter our castle. If we come over here, I did change the front. I did say I was gonna change it to see what I like, and so far after creating this little area, I kind of do like the glass, just because I can make this area, or the interior of this area, a library, and having some glass with some sunlight coming in would look pretty nice. But yeah, I changed up the path a little bit just so it could lead up into here, and I think this is pretty good. The only thing is, I do not really know what I want to do regarding the sides, just because for the most part, along the walls, it is going to be blocked because of this. So if we do look at whatever designs I do add, it's going to show just a little bit. So I'm debating whether I just want to make it all stone brick, add a few little rails or whatever the case may be to add a little bit of depth, but even then it's going to be pretty tight. After all, we only have a block space here, and that's kind of why I'm thinking of that, because if we do come up here, as you can see, this guy is sticking out, so the wall will be flush with the blocks. So I think both sides are just going to be nice and flat all the way up to the top. And then back here, I am not too sure whether I do want to add a little bit more indentation, whether it's coming in, going out, whatever the case may be, just because here I could just add glass windows and kind of style it a little bit better, just because I do plan on putting some of the rooms along this edge. But yeah, as for the interior and the floor design, I don't know what I'm going with just yet, so if you guys have any ideas or some suggestions, let me know down in the comments what I can add to the outside to make it look a little nicer, whether I should add some design here or whether just going up with pure stone brick would be the choice, and what floor choices would be good since we are going to have a bit of stone brick around the place. Whether it's carpet or placing actual blocks down, let me know what you guys think. But yeah, as for what we are planning on getting done this episode, we are going to get quite a few things done regarding bees. Again, bees are just so good in all the mods for farming resources, but the main thing that I did want to go over is making these 3 alloys. So the way that we are going to be making these alloys are going to be using the dissolution chamber, an Ars Nouveau setup, and the energizing orb. So for the dissolution chamber, if we do come up here, we can make the vibranium or the unobtainium vibranium alloy ingot using this guy. If we press R over here, this will give us a better representation, but we are going to need pink slime, some piglet hearts, and then 1 ingot of each, as well as some lava to make the unobtainium vibranium alloy, which isn't too hard, relatively easy. We do have a hostile neural network set up to get these piglet hearts. We already are getting nuggets, so these guys can be auto-crafted. As for the pink slime, we already have that monster slaughtering area that gets us pink slime. All we do have to do is create that. Whoops, wrong button. Press R. If we come over here, all we do need is a wee bit of pink slime and glass paint, and we'll be able to get some slime balls and some water, which I'm just having it getting sent to the system, which gets voided because we do have infinite water. But yeah, as for the soul lava, we can collect soul lava through melting down these soul lava combs, which we are going to need a soul lava bee. So that's one of the bees that I do plan on getting this episode. And to get this guy, we are going to need to make his spawn egg, which, if I am correct, and we're able to get this ghostly bee spawn egg, we should be able to just put the lava that's inside the smeltery or the foundry on top of the egg, and we should be able to get the soul lava bee. To be able to get this ghostly bee, easiest way to do it is by using a soul sand nest in the nether, right clicking it with some gas tiers, and then we'll be able to get this guy. We can breed these guys in the breeder with some flowers, so we're gonna be doing that and then crushing them to get the egg. But first I want to go over the alloys. So as I said over here, getting these alloys is pretty simple. We basically already have all the materials, just we don't have an infinite supply of soul lava. That is something we are going to have to make in the form of a bee. So just a little warning for that. Over here, to be able to make this vibranium Allthemodium alloy, if we click on it, if we take a look over here, we are also going to need some more piglet hearts, as well as Allthemodium, vibranium, and then we are going to need a block of nitro crystal. This is compressed, so if we click on it, it is 9 blocks of nitro crystals, which is these guys. So it is a little expensive. It does use quite a lot of energy. As you can see, it's 1 billion energy per ingot, not to mention the energy that is required to make these guys, which is 20 million. So it is a pretty hefty sum, so it is recommended to have some sort of reactor and or fusion reactor. Hint hint, that would definitely help you guys out. Make sure your energy supply will never dwindle. But yeah, you just get this all set up, put it in a little card, and then when you put it right here, it'll automatically make everything, and then you can set it up or send it through this transport pipe back into the system. I have already tested all the methods or all the little setups, so if we come over here, I think it's better if I just put alloy. But yeah, as you can see, the Allthemodium alloy was the one that I did have to test quite a few times, just because I was trying to get it down in a different way. But yeah, these guys do work. Pretty simple. You can make the blocks, like if I press R, you can make the block version just by having the system autocraft these guys and then send it, and it'll make the block at a time. As you can see, it does use more resources and it does use quite a bit of energy, so if you are doing that route, I do recommend adding way more energizing rods, recommended nitro ones. I do not know what's the max range before these guys cannot reach the orb, but yeah, the more of these guys you have, the better, because I am pretty sure these guys can transfer 1 million FE per tick. Oh, 400,000. So yeah, it is going to be a little bit of time that you are going to have to wait for those things to get done. And then how I said, you can do the same over here with this alloy. If you come to this illusion chamber, instead you are going to need pink slime blocks, you're going to need way more soul lava, and you're going to need piglet hearts. So if you do not have something set up to automatically farm those materials, it might be a little hard. Same thing goes for this one. You can also make the block version. However, I am still setting up all the infrastructure needed to be able to get all these guys made into the block version. That's the reason why we are working on the ingot. So the last one to go over is this guy. As you can see, it is using 1 ingot of each, 2 piglet hearts, and then we are going to need an earth essence, air essence, water, and fire, and then a source gem. And then the thing that I did set up was this modular router setup to be able to put all the things down and collect our resources. Yes, it is harder than just using the AE2 system. However, this just uses 1 channel compared to using roughly 9 channels, I'd say. But yeah, as you can see, I do have an unobtainium source jar. I don't know if this is actually needed when you are crafting this. It's just whenever I tried with this guy, sometimes it would and wouldn't work, but I also think it's because this guy was too close to over here and trying to say this was needed for any recipe. So just a little warning on that. But yeah, over here, this is where I am making our essences. As you can see, here we are producing the fire essence. The way you make the fire essence, I mean, you could always come over here and click on it and it tells you what you need to make it, as you can see. However, I'm just going to go over real quick. So right here I do have the imbuement chamber, I do have the platforms set up, so you can see the torch, the flint, and the gunpowder. Of course there's an empty one, but I'm just going to leave it there because why not? I don't really need it there, and I don't not need it, or I don't. So yeah, I have 4 platforms down. I don't really need 4, I only need 3. However, I don't really care. I'm just leaving it there just for design purposes at this point. But yeah, you do not need an arcane core. I just have it here just so it adds to the aesthetic, just because this will allow the imbuement chamber to be up here, which I can connect an import and export bus, and then if I do want to soul surge it, I'll have 3 faces available to soul surge. But yeah, that is my little setup, just having the 3 things needed. And then right here we are exporting some source gems into this, and then when it is done we are importing it back into the system. So I am going to put these guys down just to show you. This one is the wind one, which requires an arrow, a wing, and a feather. So you put this down, put the chamber here, you just come over here, you put an export bus, put the source gem up here. You don't have to put anything but an import bus, and just like that, it'll use 2 channels. I connect it to this dense cable that comes over here, and as soon as I put this down, everything will start running smoothly once again. As you can see, it is filling it with gems. I do have this source jar that is connected to the system down here. I do have an export bus filling this up with source. So as you can see, I did put an acceleration card. I did drag the source over here. And that's just to show you guys that it is getting filled constantly. If we look over here, this source is at 21 million. I did collect quite a lot beforehand, just because I don't have a source generating area that's connected directly to the ME system. It's just this little setup. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Just set up the 4 different essences, put them here, have this run, and over time it'll build up. How I said, since I did at the arcane core, they are lifted, so if I do want to soul surge them to make them operate faster, I can just put it on any of these 3 faces, and then they'll go pretty crazy But for right now, I am not in a rush. But who knows, maybe I might need to, just because it is going to require a ton of resources to make the star. As we come over here and take a quick look, as you can see, we do need 28 Allthemodium alloy blocks per star, and if we click on it, it is going to require quite a lot of these essences. So if you do 28 times 18, I'm not going to do the math, but I'm pretty sure that is around 300 blocks times 9 or more is how many ingots we are going to need. So yeah, at some point I might add the soul surges just to make this faster. But yeah, that's how we get those essences. As for how I have this set up to craft the alloy, I did put a processing pattern over here with all the required ingredients. Right here, I have this pipe moving all the materials from the chest into the modular router except the source gem, so that this can distribute everything. So if I come over here and grab all these, right here, this distributor module, all of these have been set to whitelist with a set material. As you can see, each one has one of the ingredients, and each one of these guys has been set to a corresponding spot. So distributor module has the heart, set as 2 items. These guys each have one thing and has their designated place where it's going to put all the items. And then all I have to do is put it like this, and this router will go through each thing. As long as there's an item, it will put it into the desired spot. Up here, this one's separate. This one is only to send the source gem, just because if the gem's here and the rest of the materials in here, it's not going to do anything. Just a little warning, so you are going to need 2 separate routers. And then I do have this one set to pulse, just because if you just leave this one alone on always, it does take quite a while for it to realize that it has not put the gem. I don't know why. So yeah, I put it to pulse, and I have this little pulse timer running. So every second it is checking, trying to send. And then same thing with this one. This one is a puller module. It is just set to this guy to pull whatever is done. AKA, I should make sure that this is set to pulling this guy only. Set that to whitelist. And then when we put it in here, everything should be done. It'll pull it. And then this transport pipe will set it back in here, and it'll be all done. So if we come over here, put alloy, we'll do one more. If we click, just like that, all the ingredients will be put into the table, and when everything is done, then the source gem will go. This will do its little thing, then the puller will extract the finished product and then send it into the system. And just like that, we'll be able to complete our unobtainium Allthemodium alloy. How I said, this probably might be a little slower than just connecting it straight to the ME system, but this way does reduce the amount of channels. Like how I said earlier, these guys are set to only sending a certain item. So if you do plan on making the blocks instead, you could put an unobtainium block here, or the essence blocks in the rest, and it'll do the same thing. So you could always configure that or make that however you need it according to your needs. So yeah, that's how we are making the alloys. Now on to the bees. Alright, and we are back in the apiary. So bees. The 2 bees that we do plan on making this episode, or that we need to set up, is the Stellarite bee and the soul lava bee. The soul lava bee, as I said, just so that we have a nice infinite supply of soul lava, so whenever we do need to craft this guy, we do have the resources available. And then the Stellarite bee, if we click on him and press U, we can see what he creates, and as you can see, we do have a 1% chance of making the Eternal Stella every time we do get a comb from him. And I am not too sure, but if we do have 4 omegas, that should increase the chances of us making the Eternal Stella. So That's the reason why we want to do this, just so that I don't have to come over here and craft these guys up consistently. After all, we are going to need 18 of these guys for the star. If we press U to make the Oblivion Shard, we are going to need 18 of these. Little hint, I'm not going to show you guys how to make the Void Forge or the Meat Shredder, just because we already have the materials that are being farmed. Just a little FYI for that. But if you guys really want me to, I guess I can show you. After all, I did show you how we could farm the materials using Ars Nouveau. Yeah, the Ghost Bee. To be able to get this guy, we just need to give a soul sand nest some gas tears, and it'll spawn this ghostly bee over time. If you click on it, all you need is soul sand and a wooden sword. A little FYI, you do have to be in the nether for that to work, but I already did that and I already have 2 of them. So if we come over here, I can easily make quite a few of these ghostly bees. All I have to do is remove these amethyst guys, and over time this is going to fill up. So what I do need to do is come over here and make quite a few treats. Let's do that. Then we'll come up here, click that, and just like that, the treats will automatically be put in here. And then we'll be able to make quite a few of these ghostly bees, as long as this is making it and sending it over. Yeah, the reason why we are going to need these guys is, how I said earlier, we are going to need to crush them so that we can make the ghostly bee spawn egg. As you can see, this is the only way that you can make the spawn egg, combining the honey treat with the ghostly sample to get the spawn egg. And then with this guy, you could always make the Stellarium bee using these 2 things, or the bee that we are looking for is the soul lava bee, which we're going to be using the foundry to do so. So yeah, I'm going to toss them into this chest. I did change it just a little bit. Kind of forgot that I moved this around so that I can actually do this, so that it could send the bees in here automatically to be spawned and crushed. Just gotta turn this off and toss that back. And just like that, we will start to collect some of these essences, and if we hover over this, we are already at 22%. We'll moved up. Yeah. Over time, this will get the job done as long as we have treats in here. So I'll add quite a bit more, let this do its thing, and then I'll be back when I have a few of those samples. Now I do have 5 of these ghostly bees, which all we have to do is combine the samples, and just like that, we have everything. We just have to toss these honey treats that are mixed, and then we get the spawn eggs. Alright, so I figured it out. So you cannot just have it connected to the foundry drain to extract the lava. You do have to put the tap connected to the foundry tank, to which you're able to put down the ghostly bee, and then right click the tap, and after a little while, once it's filled all the way, it'll start converting it into the soul lava bee. So that is how we get this guy. I am using it to collect more soul lava, but this guy is also used in the recipe for the dragon soul, which is one of the few components needed to craft the Allthemodium star. So if you're wondering how that worked, this is how you get it to work. Just because I was messing with it and I couldn't get it to work over here, I was a little bit afraid that it wasn't working, so I had grabbed myself a few spawn eggs to see if they would work. But as you can see, it was just me not knowing how to get this to actually function. But yeah, just like that, we're able to craft our bees. I did accidentally kill one of these guys because I tried right clicking him with a bucket of soul lava, and turns out that is not how these guys want to be turned into one another. But yeah, I am going to make 5 of these guys for us to be able to collect more soul lava for free, and then I am going to need to create 18 more. But that is how you get this guy, by turning the ghostly bees into that. So the next one that I did want to go over with you guys, whoops, let me turn that back off, is the Myithil bee. Last episode I did say I was going to look for a way to get Myithil so that we can start creating these lightning orbs since they are a part of this improbability device. And we basically have everything else except the mithril needed to get these orbs. So, one of the ways is to actually go into the nether. I'll show you guys that at the end of the episode. But to make the mithril B, let's see, did I not get them over here? I didn't. So if we come over here and put mithril, as you can see, there is a mithril B. To be able to make this guy, we are going to need an iron B and an arcane essence B. I don't know if you guys remember how we made the arcane essence B, but that is pretty easy. We do just need to crush up some diamond bees, mix it up with the honey treat to get this gene or this honey treat, and then we just make the diamond bee. And just like that, we just come over here, get some of this arcane essence, put it in a little ring, put the diamond guy in, and just like that, we have the bee. Let me grab some cages real quick. Perfect. So we just spawn him, collect him, just like that. We have the arcane bee. I did kill my crystalline bee by accident, so I got this guy. We'll collect him, and then we are going to need one more bee because we do need to make the mithril bee, which is the ashy mining bee. So if I put ashy, yep, I knew I had one. So we just come over here, breed these two fellows real quick, grab ourselves one iron bee, toss him in here. Let's see, we'll do that. Boom. Okay, cool, before he was spawned. But yeah, now we just put the iron bee over here, get that crystalline bee right there, and whoa. Whoops, yeah, the iron bee with the essence bee. And just like that, we are able to get the mithril bee, which we do need 5 of these guys, just so that we can collect some mithril needed to make these orbs. So that was bee number 2 that we did want to grab. So we'll put that guy away. We'll put away our souls guys just for now. Ghostly bees we are going to need to make more of, so we'll keep the adults, put away the children real quick, and yeah, now we can focus on the Stellarite bee. So to make the Stellarite bee, we are going to have to craft it in the Hephaestus forge. To do that, we are going to need some eternal stellas, as well as some stellarite and some vibranium blocks, as well as ancient bee spawn eggs. If you guys remember how we got that, this is by getting some netherite bees or ancient bees, crushing them up to get this netherite sample. To get the netherite bees, it was an adult bee fed or given a netherite block to get that guy. Thankfully, I do have quite a few genes left, and if I come over here, I am lucky enough to have quite a bit just ready in store. Good thing I let this guy run for quite a while. But yeah, so we'll mix these, put that there, just like that. We got our ancient bees, which is awesome. Don't want to accidentally throw them or move them anywhere, so I'm gonna put them right there. I guess I could change this guy back to the ghost bees. Where did I move them? Just because we are going to need more of these guys later. I guess I'll keep that as well. Put everybody up here and head back to the forge. Alright, now that we are at the forge, we are going to have to make this tier 2 into a tier 3. So I already prepped ahead of time, putting some XP, some blood, some souls and Ariel in here, so it's all maxed out and ready. However, I do want to make this Terrastop prism. Now that we are at tier 2, we can make this guy, and if you take a quick look, it is going to require a bit of souls, some Oriel, and some blood. No XP. But yeah, we're going to need 2 dripstone blocks, 2 pointed dripstone, 2 flint, a diamond, and this relic. Which, if you are looking for this relic, where is it? Enhance. Oh, this guy's going to give me a pain, because I did find him earlier in a jungle temple. So at Forbidden, hopefully it's over here. Yes, cool, I found 2 of them. Yeah, if you are looking for this guy, you can find him in jungle temples, some desert pyramids, or in the ruins underwater. Just a little FYI. But yeah, so we're gonna toss him in here. We are gonna come over here, put down two of these guys, two of these guys, two more of them, toss our diamond in, and then we just right click it, and after a little bit, it'll get it done. I am going to speed it up just a bit, and just like that, we have this guy, which is part of the little quest system over here. If we're to come to Forbidden Arcanus, we're right there. He is one of the parts. We'll grab him, but if we come over here, we are going to need to upgrade it to get the Sea Prism and the Whirlwind. If you look over here, we can already make the Smelter one, which the reason why I'm talking about it is because if you press U on it, these are going to be used for various things. Let's press U on this one as well. But besides being used for different purposes, if we do want the Allthemodium alloy paxel, we are going to need one of each, as well as the alloy tools combined with the Supremium paxel to get this guy. But yeah, now that we have that done, if we come over here, oops, I prefer using the tier forge over here, so I put tier and then forge. All of these guys pop up. If you click on this guy, you are going to need 4 diorum, 4 arcane crystals, and 1 chiseled polished darkstone, as well as 9,000 blood, 50 souls, and 1,000 Oriel to turn it into a tier 3 forge. So the only thing that I do need to grab are some souls real quick. So I grab that, put that there, that guy's full. Let's move that, blood, we are sufficient. So if we go Dior, perfect. We need 4 of these guys, and then we put arcane. We're gonna need 4 of those. Let's put that one back, and then darkstone. Where is it? Chiseled polished darkstone. I'm pretty sure we only need 1. Let's double check that real quick. Tier 3. Yep. So let's put these guys down, and then we'll turn this to tier 3 so that we'll be able to make the Eternal Stellas. Boom. Whoops. Gotta right click it with the gavel. Boom. And then speed it up just because we're like that. And just like that, we have a tier 3 forge, which is pretty cool. As you can see, you do get some stuff back, so let's grab all these guys, toss it inside. We don't know what else we are missing. Well, kind of obvious. But yeah, if we do want to make the Eternal Stellas, if we come over here, we are going to need 1 Allthemodium, 3 Expetrified Orbs, and a Stellarite piece, which, how I said, I did use a builder quite a few times to mine in different areas, and I do have the Oritech Destroyer out and about, mining around. So when it comes to Stellarite, if I can spell it correctly, I do have quite a few Stellarite. You could also use the digital miner from Mechanism to look for the specific ore, which is probably the fastest way of doing this, just a little FYI. But yeah, I am probably going to do this on my own, and then I'll be back when I have everything needed to make a Stellarite B, just because it is going to take a little while to make sure I hit all these requirements. So I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alright, so I have some of the materials. I'm not going to make all 3 to 5 Bs that I do plan on making. However, I will make one with you guys just so you guys can see me do it. But yeah, if we click over here on the Stellarite B, we are going to need 4 Eternal Stellas, 2 pieces of Stellarite, and 2 Vibranium blocks, as well as our Ancient B. And if we come over here, we're going to need a little bit of blood, some souls, and some Oriel to get this done. So if we come over here and place these guys down, just like so. So that's 4 of those. We do need 2 of these blocks, 1, 2, and then it was 2 pieces of Stellarite. Come back over here, grab our Ancient B, click them up there, and then if we just right click, I think I know what's wrong. we need a tier 5 Hephaestus Forge. Oh, I kind of forgot about that. No wonder I had a weird feeling. But yeah, to be able to make this guy, we just need some blood, souls, some Oriel, some runes, and some Stellarite, as well as another one of those. That's to get tier 4. Then to get tier 5, we just need some Skulk, 2 Dark Nether Stars, 2 Dragon Scales, as well as hitting these requirements, which those aren't too bad. And as you can see, we have everything. The only thing that I am curious about is these Dark Stars, which I already have Obsidian Steel, and we have Nether Stars. So, in theory, I can make this. It's just I don't have all this set up to be able to make it right now. So it looks like that's something I'll do offline. But as you can see, we do have all the materials and we have all the methods to get that done. So just like that, we were able to make all 3 Allthemodium ingots or alloy ingots. We made the soul lava bee spawn eggs so that we can use it for the dragon soul, for the parts for the Allthemod star, and we'll be able to make a few of these guys so that we can farm soul lava ourselves. We also made the Myithil bee so that we can start producing these empty upgrade orbs to make this lightning upgrade orb, just because I did show you guys that you can use the thunder strike scroll, or what is it called if I press what button was it again? I don't remember, but as you can see, this lightning bolt can be used to turn creepers into the charged creepers. To right click with these glass bottles to get the bottle of lightnings. We were already producing these blank scrolls via arcane essence beehive. And then I did learn something as I was slaughtering some creepers to fill this up with some blood. But yeah, if you do have some moon to beater dust and there is a creeper, I recommend having one with no AI. You can right click it with the moon to beater dust and it does turn it into a charged creeper where you can easily come by and collect it. So if you don't have the scroll, you can always just come over here, right click a few of these guys, and then you can just get some more lightning, or yeah, lightning bottles basically. Just a little FYI, if you guys didn't know that, I learned that by accident, so has been very helpful, been very useful. And just like that, we have made all the bees, except for the Stellarite bee, which requires a tier 5 forge, which I'm going to work on at the end of this episode so that I can get these Stellarite bees down and have them in the beehives producing more things. Yeah, so one thing that I guess I can go over before I wrap up the episode is that I do have a new little system set up for our Hostile neural network system, and that is this over here, where I removed everything and I connected it all to the ME system. So this is getting some predictions. Did I run out of predictions already? Looks like I did. So let's make some more. But yeah, I do have it set so that predictions automatically come into the chamber. Everything is imported to the ME system, aka whatever goes over here comes over here. The predictions also get stored over there before it is sent into the loot fabricator, which once we do get one of the little predictions, it'll automatically produce whatever I need. So here I do have the piglich hearts. I have 2 of these for the pigliches. Then I have 2 for the withers. However, I am going to be expanding the system quite a bit so that I could get way more nether stars, just because the Allthemod star does require an insane amount of these guys. I never really paid attention to this needing 15 3x, or basically 729 nether star blocks. It's insane. I am going to have to revamp the system, and we might cover that in another episode just because it is going to get pretty crazy. But yeah, just like that, we managed to accomplish quite a bit this episode. There's some things that I didn't cover all the way, and that's because we didn't have the right forge. So I'm going to do that offline, get some Stellarite bees, get those guys set up, and then I am going to mess around with the system over here to get more things being produced. And then next episode, we'll get right into it and talk about whatever I've done offline, whatever I've added, and what new recipes for the Allthemod Star that we are going over then. So, if you guys enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't subscribed already. Also, if you guys have any ideas for the build, let me know down in the comments. I'll take that into consideration and add it whenever I can. Just because I am not so good at creating interiors, I am about to make it just all spruce flooring. I don't know if that's going to look good or ugly. But yeah, if you guys have ideas for what I should do, let me know. I'll be sure to include it one way or another. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. And if I do use your idea, I will include your username in the castle if you guys don't mind me doing so. So a little bit of incentive for you guys leaving your suggestions. If you guys have any suggestions for me regarding any of the setups to make it better and or more efficient, let me know. I do know that we could use AE to make the block for this guy. I know we can do that. However, I kind of like the little modular router system. I don't know. I just like seeing the things fly around. It's pretty cool, visually appealing to me. So yeah, I might just stick with that. And it just uses one channel compared to probably 9 that we are going to need for it. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, peace.